we're going to do our interview today with Jake Dodds. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, so I came across your song, She Goes to Work, and it instantaneously made me start crying my eyes out, and I sent it to every single nurse and military worker that I know. And so I just had to reach out to you and find out kind of where it came from. What inspired you to write She Goes to Work?
Yeah, well, thank you, first of all. And we've gotten that compliment a lot, and I never know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It's a good thing.
Really make anybody cry, but as long as it's for a good cry, then that's awesome. We wrote it in April of 2020, so I think everything was like very new at the time. So it was on all of our minds, and we were doing a Zoom ride. It was actually my first Zoom ride after you couldn't get together with anybody, and it was the last song that we threw out that day. I had the idea the night before, or maybe a day or two before. I was actually saving it to write it with another guy, and I was in write on Zoom, and we didn't have any good ideas, and I was like, hey, I had this idea, I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but I was like, she goes to work, and here's like the concept. And so obviously at the time, I've taken a lot of flack for this actually, especially lately too. It's a little silly, but I understand where it's coming from, with people saying, why is it only she goes to work? And I would guess I would clarify that when we started writing it, I don't know that any of us knew that it was going to strike a chord with nurses the way that it did. I think we were trying to, obviously that was, the nurses were the job that had to go to work when everybody else was going home. So if they were on the top of our mind. But I don't know that I saw it becoming like such an anthem for nurses at the time. And so in hindsight, that's why it was She Goes to Work, because it was actually supposed to be like more broad. And it is for all those things, but it's really been the nurses that have taken this song and ran with it, so it's been amazing.
That's incredible. We'll jump down to a different question that I have to relate to. Do you know what they call male nurses?
I think I've seen it. Is it Merces?
Yeah, Merces, yes. And
yeah.
So my whole nursing career, I've always picked on the Merces. I've always put a special place in my heart and picked on them. I think that male nurses, they have a really great heart and they're special people. But from a nursing standpoint, it is a female-dominated field. And one of my questions was I wanted to know how the nurses were responding, and their feelings were hurt.
A little bit, man. You know how it is. Like these days, especially. I don't know that anybody's feelings were actually hurt. There's probably a few, and if your feelings were really hurt by that, then I do apologize. It's not something we intended to do, but I think most people just like to leave comments. They think nobody's ever going to read them, and I read them all. So I see them, and every once in a while I'm like, come on, you don't really feel that way, do you? Like I didn't mean any harm by it, but I have seen that term. I didn't know if that was the professionally accepted term, so I wasn't going to use it.
No, it's the professional medical term for male nurses.
Okay.
Nurses.
There we go. There's no shame in being a nurse.
No. I'll tell you that through all of COVID and everything, I really think that the male nurses have stood up and been a great strength for the female nurses. We've taken on a lot of emotion and a lot of stress, and male nurses are able to detach a little bit more, and I really think they helped keep us grounded through this. Being a country music fan through and through and through to my soul, I have to say, we don't have country music songs about female military workers. As many military songs as we have, we don't. And so I would be remiss if I didn't address the second half of the song. The first half of the song is obviously about nurses, for those of you that haven't heard it yet. The second half really addresses those female military workers that are going too. And I think that's a really important part of what we're seeing right now and what's going on in society. And the fact that you address both is incredible. Do you have female nurses or female military in your life, in your family?
A lot of nurse friends, and my sister-in-law is a nurse. It really just made the most sense to us. So when we were writing the song, the kind of the two ways that we were going to go with it was we could break it down line by line, and each line would be a different profession, and try to write it that way, which could have been cool. But because of everything that was going on, and the nurses being on the front lines, being so in your face at the time, because like I said, it was April of 2020, so everything was just getting started. Nobody knew what was going on. So the first verse became so dedicated to nurses that it was like the second verse has to be dedicated to like a certain profession as well. And female military just made the most sense. And like you said, it's a totally unrepresented population. And honestly, if I have any regrets about this song, it's that second verse has never caught on the way that the first verse did. The first verse is what went viral on TikTok, and so it's always had all the attention. But I feel like that second verse is just as important. And like you said, it's just a totally underrepresented population out there, and hopefully that verse will get its day in the sun as well. So.
I think so. I think we can push for it, certainly. I think that let's jump to you going to the Nurses March, because that was news to me, and I'm so excited that you're heading out. And I know that there's a lot of nurses that are excited for you to be there. And obviously the Nurses March is about advocating for safer staffing ratios, better pay, safer work environments. And I think that nursing is just the start of it. It's going to trickle downhill into all of these other care fields. And I think eventually to military, that we're seeing and appreciating what military does for us. They're so undervalued. And so maybe these next couple years will be dedicated to the first half of the song, but then we can push out the second half of the song and keep it going.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you feel about going out to the march?
I'm really excited. It's so cool. I first was contacted about it. It seems like forever ago now, when I first started getting the first few messages about potentially coming out there, and I was just said like I would love to be a part of it if you can find a way to have me. And it all came together. So I'm super excited to go out there and be just a very small part of this special day. And I'm excited to sing a song for the audience that it's really for, and the audience that has made it what it is. Really just excited, a little bit nervous, because I feel like it's a special moment, and so I don't want to mess it up or anything like that. But look forward to it, and excited to go back to DC. I've been to DC once, and just, I don't know, get to take something from like a song, just an idea in your head, to all the way to what it's become, and to get to be its messenger, and now to really get to go to a place where decisions get made for an event that is going to influence a lot of people and get a lot of attention. It's just really exciting to be a small part of something that big, and so humbled to be there, humbled to be asked, and I'm ready to be there.
We're so ready to see you. I just about lost my mind when I found out you were going to be there. I was so excited. I've been telling everyone, and you're absolutely right. I don't think that you're going to be a small part of this. I think that you're going to be a pretty significant part of this. But we are looking at a change in healthcare. We nurses always go back to Florence Nightingale and how she really changed the idea and concept of nursing. And I think that this year, 2022, we are going to see a big change in healthcare and the way that healthcare workers are treated. And I think that you are going to be a huge part of that. And I'm so excited to have you on board. And I love that it's actually country music too, because
Yeah.
Why not? That needs to get out there a little bit more anyways.
Sure, that's right. Yep.
So a little bit about you. How did you know you were going to be a writer? Or like a songwriter and a performer?
Yeah, I don't know that I ever did. Sure. Just kind of, it was always something that I was like very interested in. I have loved country music since I can remember, and my grandpa was in a country band and was always singing songs when we were over at their house and stuff like that. And so I grew up loving country music and kind of just always singing everywhere I was at, but never really did anything musical. I'm super unmusical actually, and so it wasn't really until I was like 23 when I first started taking the first steps to get started with the band, and just immediately realized how much I really did love it, and took off running from there, and basically have never stopped from that point. And I've just been very fortunate to get to do a lot of cool things. Spend some time in Nashville. I'm a road guy, so I'm always out on the road playing shows, just trying to get heard and discovered that way. As far as writing goes, I don't know that it's my favorite hobby. It is something that I definitely do like doing every once in a while, but I don't like to do it as much as everyone likes to do it in Nashville and daily and stuff like that. So I got blessed with some great co-writers on this song, and they really helped make it what it is. And so, I don't know that I am a songwriter per se. I write songs. I don't know if they're good or not. This one is very special, of course. And performer, I will take that credit. I love to perform. It's my absolute favorite thing to do. And I always look forward to getting to go play the next show. And so just really got started, never stopped, and still out here going.
That's awesome. What kind of response do you get when you play this song out at shows?
Yeah, well, it's hit or miss. We play a lot of college bars.
Oh,
we
sure.
play a lot of rowdy honky tonks, drinking crowds and stuff like that. And so sometimes we're playing a place where we've been before, and people have seen us and they know who we are, and they come to see our show. And in that circumstance, it always gets a good reception. Sometimes if we're in a real rowdy college bar, I'm like, guys, I'm gonna slow it down for one song, and I explained it to him now. I'm like, it was a viral TikTok, and it was a number 11 country song, number 49 all shot around iTunes. And you'll see some of them listen. Some of them just like totally blows on their head still. But it's usually positive, and when it's our own show, it's absolutely positive. And for anybody that's actually, really focusing in on the words, they certainly understand it, and I think they appreciate it. And we certainly have seen a big uptick in nurses actually coming out to the shows specifically just to see that song, and that is like super cool. That's all you could ever really ask for as a writer and an artist, is for somebody to show up because they actually want to hear your song. And so that's been really special as an artist, as a writer, as a performer. But it's always, I always tell everybody, it's extra cool because of what the song actually is and what it means to people.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. And I think that this song is going to be around for a long time. I think we're kind of in a post-traumatic stress state for like the entire nation. So I think anything that reminds them of how bad COVID was at the beginning, everyone's kind of wearing away from right now. But I think that as we openly talk about this and openly talk about how it's affected all of us, we can embrace this song a little bit more and really know that it wasn't just through COVID that this song applies. This song hit me from day one of my nursing career, that mentality of I'm gonna give up everything else because my soul is meant to take care of people. And you nail that emotion on the head when you sing this song, and it's really incredible. And it just turns that knife a little bit more when you get to the military verse. And I think that we really need to push and get this song out there, not just for nurses but for female military workers, because you are spreading a message that is incredible, and I think that people have to hear it.
Well, thank you so much. That's awesome. Like I said, I just got really blessed with some great co-writers, and we all have been super humbled by what this song has been able to do. I think it's the biggest song for all of us, as far as writers, and for myself as the artist on it. It's been the biggest song that we put out, and I agree. I hope that it has a lot of life left. I've certainly been told, by people that it's a niche song and that it served its purpose and stuff like that. But I agree. Like I said, the reason we started writing it was COVID driven, given the circumstances of the day. But the general idea was always is that it was more than that. That it was She Goes to Work. That it wasn't just nurses, but cooks and police and fire and first responders and stay-at-home moms and everybody that couldn't just take 15 days off to stop the spread. That wasn't an option for certain careers. And that's really where the song started. And then once the nursing community took hold of it, I really, like I said, I'm not sure that I anticipated that. I know looking back, it makes 100% sense because that first verse is so nurse driven, but that really wasn't the thought that I had. I thought it was going to be very broad, and I'm still just humbled to this day because, like I said, I don't think we could have expected this, and just the messages that I started receiving, like after it really had gone viral, and seeing what it really meant to people that were on the front lines, and 14, 15, 16-hour shifts with the mask and the all done up and without a choice, really, was super humbling. And then obviously as it progressed, the tone has changed a little bit to we were heroes and now we're already forgotten. That is a whole different thing. and a huge reason to why we're going to this march. So.
I love that you guys are going to be there. And I think that is the same kind of sentiment that goes with military workers. You know, unless you see them in camo, I feel like society just kind of forgets about them. And
Sure.
Putting this message out there and reminding everyone that it's a job, and they put their head down and they go regardless of everything else, regardless of the kids at home, regardless of what shift it is. You know, they're really sacrificing their hearts and their souls to get out there and take care of people. And like I said, you just nailed the emotion right on the head, and I am so stoked about this song. If you could give the world one piece of advice, what would it be?
Oh boy. Do whatever makes you happy, I guess. I know that's probably super cliche, but like whatever, if it's a hobby or whatever, you know, if it's a side job or you know, whatever it is that brings you joy outside of just like you're trying to, you know, I don't know, I'm sure there's probably somebody out there that became a lawyer, right, because they actually wanted to be a lawyer. But like most lawyers become lawyers because they're trying to make bank. And so there's nothing wrong with the pursuit of Porsche. But even, you know, no matter what you do, just find that thing that like makes you happy and do that to some extent, whether it's like all out or just a little bit or just whenever you get a chance. And I think that will lead to a happier life.
Without you knowing it, you are preaching the preacher girl message. That is what we're here to do. Most, you know, healthcare workers are in the field because it genuinely is what they want to do. This is not a field that you get into to make a lot of money. You kind of get beat down and abused, and so we're here because we want to, and that's what we love to do. And I think it's important that we follow those passions, but also our hobby passions too, and it's really important for you to put that message out there. So how can we support you? What's the best way for my listeners and anyone who's interested to support you and cheer you on?
Yeah, I mean, probably the easiest thing is just to follow all the social media stuff. So you can get it all pretty easy. If you go to jakedodds.com, there are little links right across the top of the website for Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'd say I'm most active on TikTok and Instagram. Follow us there. And then from you can also get to the music from the website, but you can click from the TikTok or the Instagram. I always have a bio right there, or a link in the bio these days that will take you to the newest whatever we got going on. So the newest song, the newest release, the newest videos. I always link in the bio there. So really, once you're on the socials, just follow us and like the post, share the post. Download the songs. That's huge. I guess the biggest thing right now is that we're re-releasing She Goes to Work in an acoustic format, which is it's so cool. I really love listening. I always hate listening to my own songs, but I really like this because it has fiddle in it. It's awesome.
Oh, that'll be very cool.
It's so cool. It is honestly, it's the way we probably should have always done it. I think it's what my producer Nico and I finally decided when we listened to it back. But this is probably the way that it should have always been. So we're releasing that on Thursday for the 1 year anniversary, because it's been about a full year since we released She Goes to Work in the World, and it's Nurses Week. So on Thursday, May 12th, the new version will come out. So if you want to go to the website or go to Instagram and click on that link, you can pre-save it on Apple, pre-save it on Spotify, and then you can order it on iTunes for 99 cents. And if you do that, that will really help us out and hopefully get it driven up in the charts. And then it just gets more and more attention on it. So the higher it goes, it's good for the song. Hopefully it's good for the movement, and selfishly, it's good for me as an artist.
Absolutely. Well, we need to get your message out there. You, I know I've listened to a couple of your other. Is it Gasoline and Dirt Tracks? Is that the name of the?
Dirt
Yes.
Tracks and Gasoline.
Dirt Tracks and Gasoline. That's a great country song. I love it. So I'm just trying to get your name out there because I'm loving what you're doing. You've got a great country vibe. Good feel. I like watching your blurbs on Instagram of your concerts. You guys look like you're blasting concerts, so I can't wait to see you down in DC. And I'm going to throw in one more question because I'm selfish. Who's your country music idol and why? Oh, yes, Kenny Chesney. Perfect.
Yeah, Kenny's my guy. So as far as why, I don't know. I've just been listening to Kenny forever. I like I like the little rock edge of his stuff and the AC/DC edge of his stuff. I like a lot of I'm a B-list Kenny Chesney guy, so like the hidden songs on the albums are always my favorites. So,
what's your favorite?
Yeah, big, undeniably big Kenny Chesney guy.
That's awesome. Do you have a favorite song off the top of your head?
So I guess this is cheating because this is not technically his song, but it's a cover he does of One Step Up, which is a Bruce Springsteen song. He does a cover of it on, I don't know which album it is, but it's
one of his lives.
It's right at the end. yeah, it is on one of the lives. But it's so good.
Awesome.
That version's so good. So.
Awesome. I love you sharing the Kenny Chesney love. I'm so excited to see you in DC. Thank you for writing this song. I mean, you are really changing the dynamic and the language around nursing right now, whether you know it or not, and you are just advocating for us by just telling our story. So from the heart of an ICU nurse and on behalf of the nurses that I know, thank you so much for writing this song and putting it out there. You are just a little angel to us, and I am so excited to cheer you on in DC.
Well, thank you so much. Like I said, it's been super humbling and just very fortunate to get to be a writer and the messenger of this song. So
awesome. Well, you heard him. Go on iTunes, pre-order that song, the acoustic version of She Goes to Work. Take a listen to it. Have your tissues ready, though, because you'll sob. It's a beautiful song, but and you won't be able to get it out of your head. So thank you for joining us, Jake. I super appreciate it, and hope to talk to you again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime, and I promise not to be as hard to get a hold of.
No worries. It's worth it. Totally worth it. Thanks for joining us here at Preacher Girl and helping us to share our message.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Well, have a great night, Jake. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I really am sorry that it took so long.
No, don't worry about it. I was adamant about getting you, and anytime it didn't go through, I would tell my friends it didn't happen, and they were just cheering me on. I was like, okay, I'm gonna reach out again. And I knew you had back-to-back shows last time. It's fine. I'm just so glad you were able to do it.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. Thanks for being persistent. And anytime if you would do it again, absolutely down. So.
Yeah, well, I might hit you up on Instagram just to see how your experience goes after the Nurses March, because I'd love to see what it looks like from your side. So I know I'm going to be putting a lot of TikToks up. I can't wait to see what you're putting up too.
Cool.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, thanks for your time, Jake. It was great talking to you.
Yeah. Nice to meet you too.
You too.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.